Hello and welcome to Learning Freedom. I'm Rachel Plant. I hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to talk about feeling the fear and doing it anyway with regards to home education, homeschooling. So we're living in unprecedented times. Things are getting really crazy out there. Many people are really worried about their children being in the education system, and rightly so. So whether that is a child who's already in school, or your child is getting to school age and you're wondering whether it is the right thing to send them to school, those worries and those feelings that are coming up for you are totally justified given the situation that we're in. My child has never been in the education system, but I was a teacher before I had her, and I do hear from other people what is going on in schools. So whether that is, your child is being bullied, or their needs just aren't being met, or the content that is being taught in schools at the moment, or, that they're not being treated as an individual, that their unique gifts and talents just aren't being nurtured in the way that you really want for your child. Or, of course, because they are being coerced into a medical procedure. And I'm using code here because I don't want to be censored. But, there are instances where the parents' wishes with regards to certain medical procedures are not being respected. And, many parents are extremely worried about all of this and are thinking about taking their child out of school. So, I understand it can be really a scary prospect. It's kind of going against what you've always believed was the thing to do. And so to kind of go out on a limb yourself and, take that decision with all of the things that go with that, how am I going to make a living? How am I going to be able to feed us? How am I going to be able to teach my child all the things that they need to know? I want to do the right thing for my child. I don't want to leave them disadvantaged because, I haven't got the skills to be able to teach them. How are they going to make friends? How are they going to be able to be in the world? All of these things are concerns. So I would say the first thing I would advise anybody to do is make those connections in the home ed community. Find like-minded people. So there are many different ways to home educate a child. There are families who are coming at it from so many different angles and different philosophies and doing it for lots of different reasons. So you're absolutely not going to gel with every single home ed family that you meet. However, that shouldn't stop you trying to make those friendships and those connections and those, you don't even have to necessarily, see eye to eye on everything, but finding those people who you can feel comfortable with and, share your concerns, learn from their experience. They can learn from your experience, make it a cooperative and collective kind of an experience. I really, really feel this is the way forward for education, and I see this happening all the time. Different groups popping up and different ventures in terms of creating spaces for our children to learn in a more autonomous and a more individual kind of a way, outside of that mainstream restrictive system, which is a one-size-fits-all system and is basically failing many, many children. So yeah, that is number one. Even before you take your child out of school, you can be making those connections. You can be feeling into, well, what's possible? What's already out there? What's already established? What are the hurdles and the obstacles that other people have overcome? And it can give you such a huge amount of confidence to know that other people have trodden this path before and they're doing it successfully. It can really, really give you that boost of confidence. The next thing is to, as I said at the beginning of the video, just feel the fear and do it anyway. Even if you've got all of these doubts, all of these fears about what could go wrong, how am I going to do it? How is it going to be possible? Even if it feels completely impossible, this is really about taking a leap of faith. and trusting in the universe, that if you take those first steps, then the universe is going to respond and the right things are going to happen. And rather than focusing on all of the craziness that's happening in the 3D world, and there is so much of it, just switch off from it, tune out from it. All of the, the legislation that might be coming in about home education, the stuff about, all of it, all of what's happening in that world, without going into it. We all know the crazy stuff and how it can, if we tap into that, it can really leave us in a state of fear about the future and what is going to happen to us and our children. Okay, so rather than focusing on that, focus on what you do want to create. What do you want for your child and for your family? Maybe it is to go around the world. This has been a dream of mine and my daughter's for some time, to just get on a plane and work our way around the world and do it on a shoestring, just do house sitting or like work exchanges and just work our right way around the world. And what an amazing experience for, my daughter's just 9. She's getting to the age where it would really, really, make an impression on her, experiencing those different cultures. And I understand that, that it is very difficult at the moment. There are so many restrictions on travel and what we can do and what we can't do. But do you know what? I actually know of people who are still doing this. They are still able to move around without succumbing to the pressures for testing and other procedures. And it is possible. It is possible. And those people that are doing it, they're focused on how they can do it. They believe that it's possible, and they're not, they're not giving in to the doubts and the what ifs and the I can't do this. So it really is, and I'm not suggesting that that you do that. Maybe how you want to do it is on a much smaller scale, but it might be about moving to the countryside and having a more nature-based experience for your child, or just them being able to be at home more and just experience life and learn that way. Whatever it is, however it is, hold a vision for how you want your lives, the whole of your lives, to be. Not just the home education side of it, all of it. In an ideal world, what would you all be doing, and how would it look, and how would it feel? How would it feel? Really try and get into that sense of how it would feel to be in that place, and that is how you will draw it to you. And that is how, that's how you will create it, because we are creator beings. We are creator beings. We are creating our reality in every moment. And I really have experienced that in the negative as well as the positive. If I'm taking a negative attitude to something, I will just create a load of obstacles and a load of crap that will come my way, and difficult people and difficult situations. Time and time again, I've experienced that. On the flip side, if I'm taking an attitude of, visualizing things going smoothly, visualizing light around the thing that I want to create, and visualizing, imagining, feeling in my body that thing coming towards me, then it does. So, and I forget that this is how it is, that I'm creating my reality in every moment. So yeah, this has gone off onto a bit of a kind of maybe it's a bit woo for some people, but this is how I see the situation. It is, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we do not need to tap into all of the very negative, very human stuff that is happening in our world. We don't need to put our focus. That's not to, bypass it. That's not to not deal with things as they come up. But we don't need to be projecting our fears about what will happen in the future. We don't need to be projecting all of that. We can choose to focus on something that is really exciting and helps us to, feel expansion in our bodies. Right, Right, so I'm going to give you a really small example of kind of how I've been really realizing all of this in my life. So I work as a virtual assistant. That's the main work that I do. This is what keeps us going and keeps us able to home educate. So I do around 2 hours work a day for a company. They're an online internet-based company, and I get paid monthly. So there's been all kinds of rumours from people that I work with that the company is struggling, that there is cash flow issues, that they may be about to fold. And the last couple of months, it's been a real struggle to get paid. And there's been lots of situations where I've not had as much work as I would normally, and miscommunications and difficulties. And so the month before last, I didn't get paid as much as I would have normally. And it took about 2 weeks for the payment to come through. And I started to get into a real panic because my daughter's birthday was coming up, Christmas is coming up, my car needs fixing. I've got a whole load of stuff that I need to pay for, as well as, all the usual. So it's like, oh shit, I'm going to struggle. I'm going to struggle here. If they're going to fold, oh my God, I'm going to have to find new work. My thoughts were just going really, really frantically. And so I was applying for all kinds of jobs online with a really kind of manic energy, a real sort of a desperation, really, and nothing was coming back. And I was like, oh, this is just going to be so difficult. Oh my God, we're going to starve. Like catastrophe thinking. And then I got ill with flu, so I couldn't do anything. I was in bed for about a week and a half. I couldn't really, I was managing to get my work done, my 2 hours work a day, but I couldn't really apply for anything or get my head into gear to think about how I was going to solve this problem. But I got some messages through. There was all kinds of weird, trippy stuff happened actually when I was ill. But I got a message from my guides which was saying, just don't go there. With that particular issue, with the issue around getting paid from my job, just relax. Don't think about it. Don't put your energy there at all. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And so that's what I've done. That's what I've done for the last sort of month and a half or so. I've just not just known that it would be okay. Not really known that it would be okay because of all the experiences of the month before, but just kind of like trusting the universe, putting my trust into the universe. And then submitted my invoice thinking there might be something that comes back with this, but I'm just going to be chill about it. I'm just going to, just see what happens. I'm not going to send it with an energy of, this is, it's all going to go wrong. And then I just got paid. I just got paid the full amount. There was no issues around it. There was no delayed payment. It all just got paid really, really smoothly. And I don't know, it was just, it might seem like a really small example, but it was just an example of how, if we don't go there, if I'd have kind of been worrying and trying to make something happen and going to my boss and saying, well, what's happening with all of this? I need to know. There might have been a different outcome. There really might have been a different outcome. And so it really feels like a bit of a message that I can do this. I can do this in all of those situations. If I just expect that it's all going to be okay. And this might seem really sort of head in the clouds, daydreamy kind of thinking for some people, but I think that's because of the programming, because we have been so programmed to believe that we have to effort and we have to organize and we have to make sure everything is absolutely perfect. We, have such control over our lives that to let go and allow and receive from the universe feels really, really alien to us and really uncomfortable to us. But in terms of home educating and taking your child out of school or not putting your child in school in the first place, this is what we have to do. We have to take an absolutely huge leap of faith because we do not know what the future holds. We do not know what the future for humanity is. We do not know what the future of the school system is. that it's all unknown. It's all absolutely unknown, and we can't know how it's going to work out for our child. But the good thing is that nothing has to be set in stone. Nothing has to last forever. So you can take your child out of school. You can try it for a while. It might not work. They might miss their friends, or they might miss the structure of school, or whatever. Or you might not feel like you are able to give it as much as you want. You know, it might not work out for whatever reason, and it's okay. You can just put them back in school if that's what you choose to do. We've got choices. We've got choices, and we can be flexible and we can be responsive in the moment. We don't need to know what the future is going to be and absolutely know it 100% set in stone. And it feels like this time is really all about that for so many of us, to really, you know, just first of all, like, get in touch with, well, what do we really, you know, what is our intuition telling us? What do we really want? What is our real heart's desire here? What feels right for me? What feels aligned with, you know, with my spirit and my heart? And then, you know, making that happen, and having the courage, feeling the fear, and doing it anyway. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I just really felt that I wanted to say that today, and I'm going to be doing more of it. I'm going to be doing more of those things that scare me, you know, and I think I really do believe in doing something that scares you every day. It really helps you to develop that that muscle, you know, so that you can push your comfort zone more and more, and you can feel more comfortable making those bigger and bigger and bolder steps into the unknown. And it is all unknown, you know, and without the backup of the system, you know, this system that is failing, this system that is crumbling, you know, learning to do it on your own, to tap into that internal sat nav that is your guidance, that is going to show you where you need to go. Tapping into that, and then taking those steps forward that feel aligned. Without that crutch, of that system that has kept us enslaved, basically, that has not served us, that is never going to serve us. And just stepping away from it, even if it feels absolutely scary, uncomfortable, petrifying, just doing it anyway. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon.